Welcome everybody to this very first episode of the Call of Duty School strategies and tips series that I'm gonna do. And my goal of this series is to help you guys, understand how to, win these game modes and how to make yourself a better player overall. Now, I know I'm not the best, and I consider myself, a little, a bit above average, but I'm no way of like a pro gamer or whatever. Maybe, who knows? Anyways, so my goal is for this series is to help you guys understand, the basics, the game modes, what the perks, the guns, and pretty much a lot of stuff to help you win. That is my goal, like to help you guys win, to get some good kills and everything. Now, the very first episode, which is gonna be about the basics. Now I know some of you are like, okay, the basics. I already know the basics. Do you now? Now, anyways, for me, the basics are everything. They're like the foundation of your strategies, and or they're gonna help you succeed in Modern Warfare 3, or basically in any other Call of Duty, because these strategies and tips can be applied to any Call of Duty game that you play. It could be Modern Warfare, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, and the next one, Black Ops 2. Now, learning the basics, it might seem boring at first, and might seem useless to some of you, but nonetheless, they are essential for your everyday battles. Now, there are of course more advanced techniques such as like 360 to the max quick scoping, or the drop shotting, shooting, and maybe other stuff, but not a lot of people know how to do those things, like the quick scoping or the drop shots, because I came across people that they try to apply the drop shots, but they failed miserably. That's what happens. You get killed when you try to do that, and that's what happens. But it takes practice to perfect your technique, whatever the hell you try to do, all this other stuff. Now, the list that I'm gonna provide is no way in order, like step 1, step 2, step 3. These are just like my top 10. So my top 10 list that you gotta put in your mind, like, all right, I gotta remember like to do this. It has to be in, you gotta know this by heart. If you know these, you'll be a much better player overall. You'll see your, if your KD is important to you, you'll see a much better KD, much better win-loss ratio, and other stuff like that. Now, here they are, my basics, my 10 basics, strategies and tips or whatever. So here are the basics. Number 1, always stay calm. The calmer you are, the better you will perform. There are times where you gotta get, you're gonna get pissed off and are annoyed, and to the point where you want to rage quit. Now, getting angry or it's gonna ruin your performance. Unless you're like the Hulk. The angrier you get, the better you get. And then take this rule out, this tip out. Anyways, people who get angry at the game they start losing their focus, their concentration, and it makes them more vulnerable. If you're already pissed off, pause the game. Pause the game. Take a couple of deep breaths. I gotta chill. I gotta get my shit together, and I gotta do this. And then you continue, and you trust me, and you will see much better results and everything. Because I came across players who were, they started performing well at the beginning of the match, and then for some reason they get pissed off. So then I don't know where they're like in the middle of their team. Their scores like in the middle, and soon they're like at the end of the list, and they get angry. They get mad at the game. They start blaming on the game. They start blaming on Infinity Ward. They start blaming on Treyarch or whatever. And it's not the game's fault. It's your fault. If you get pissed off, it's gonna ruin your performance. So that's pretty much it for number 1. Now, number 2 is choosing the right gun for the right map. You don't want to be, you don't want to have a sniper rifle on Dome, you know, unless you're pretty good at quick scoping on Dome, because it's a small map. You know, choosing the right gun and setup is essential for earning those kills more easily. You know, shotguns and SMGs and maybe are like, and maybe assault rifles are the kings in Dome. You know, but shotguns and SMGs, you know, they're not good at the large maps such as Black Box. You know, you don't want to do those. You know, if you want to choose like a good combination of guns, which I'm pretty much go in detail with each game mode and maps and whatever. And you know, for like, let's say, let me give you an example for Lockdown. Lockdown, it's a map. It's a medium map. Yeah, kind of medium to large map. And right there, the kings are the assault rifles right there, and sniper rifles. Cause there's a few spots where if you're sniping, there's very good spots where you have a bunch of range. You could pick your opponents out right there, and that's pretty much it. You know, for Lockdown. You know, SMGs they're all okay in Lockdown. Shotguns, I don't know, cause there's long, you know, views and arrows long views, and yeah, you gotta be close, you know, get those shotgun kills. Now, let's moving on to number 3. Number 3 is choosing the right class setup for the right game mode. Taking a page from the right gun for the right map. You might want to choose the right, you know, setup for the right game mode. Like, for example, if you want to get kills and survives and everything, let's say you play Drop Zone, you might want to equip Blast Shield Pro, because you know, when you're trying to get the HQ, whatever, the little, you know, you get the Drop Zone, there's gonna be a bunch of grenades coming at you. So if you want to survive, the Blast Shield Pro is gonna come in. Now let's say you're playing Search and Destroy and you want to rush, choosing the right class setup, and you'll be much better at rushing and everything. So that's pretty much, I'm gonna be going more into more detail about the game modes, about the class setups, the guns. You know, I'm gonna go into more details for that. But for now, you know, choose the right class setup, the right guns for the right maps and everything. Now this one is number 4. Now this is the one that you might want to pay attention, because I've seen this mistake a lot of times, and you know, a lot of people do this mistake. And I know for those who have been playing for a while, you know, it's stuck in your head already. You automatically do it. You're conditioned to do it. But rule number 4: don't reload every time you shoot or kill someone. If you shoot 3 bullets and then reload, it's gonna leave you vulnerable for a few seconds. You know, I've seen many times where people kill someone with a few bullets, and they reload while having at least a mag, like half a mag left, and then they get killed because they were reloading. You know, your enemies will catch you off guard, and you know, they're taking advantage of those few seconds. Even if you have Sleight of Hand Pro, or Sleight of Hand in general, this, like, 1 second is all it needs to kill you. Only reload when you really need to. You know, when the game tells you, you know, gives you the, you know, press square or X or whatever, you know, on Xbox, I forgot. And you know, when it tells you that, I know you guys are conditioned to reload every single time when you get a kill or miss, you know, but try to not reload every single time, because one good way people reload every time is if they get the last kill of the game. You see the final cam, the final kill cam, you kill the guy and then reload. No, that's fine, you know, unless you're playing like 2v2s or something, you know, sometimes it could be fine, but a lot of times, you know, the reloading when you don't really need to is a bad idea. You know, I unconditioned myself to do this and I had great results. Let me give you guys a little background. You know, one time in Search and Destroy, it was bottom of the 9th inning, bases were loaded, 2 outs, and it was my turn. It was a 1v1, and I had to kill this asshole. We gained, you know, we finally met, and we duked it out, and he got me. I got some pretty good hits, and I got him too. So So instead of reloading, he comes down and he comes after me, and I had 4 bullets left. So what I do, I could have reloaded, but no, I didn't. I chose not to. With those 4 bullets, I went to that guy and I took him down. You know, if I would have reloaded, he would have caught me off guard. Not really off guard. He would have caught me, and I would have been out already. We would have lost the game. Game over for us. Now, that's, you know, really important. You know, sometimes don't reload all the time. It's really good to not reload when you're engaging battles, because I seen people, you know, 3 bullets, and then the reload. What the hell, dude? You have like a half a mag, like 3/4 of mag left. You can use those. All you really need is like four bullets to kill someone. You know, unless your aim is really that bad. You know, sometimes I don't even reload that often. I have a half a mag. I don't even reload because I know you gotta have confidence in your aim and your hip fire. Yeah. Anyways, that's it. That was rule number 4. Don't reload all the time. That's it. Now let's move on to number 5. Knife at close quarters. You know, I've seen a bunch of people, they try to shoot their players when they're like next to each other, and it's like, whoa, you die, and then you're like, what the fuck, I shot you 3 times or whatever, but that guy knifed you. The knife is gonna win if you're in close quarters. I know, I've been to way many situations where I was in super red and I got the knife kill. If I would have like shot him, you know, if we would have like shot each other at close quarters, he would have won. But no, I knifed him. If you're at least 1 to 3 feet away from, you know, from your opponent, go for the knife kill. If your opponent surprises you, go for the knife kill. And you know, that's usually known as the panic knife kill. You know, I see many times where people shoot their opponents instead of knifing them. And when they're like, you know, when they're next to each other, you know. But you know, unless you have a shotgun, you know, go right ahead and shoot that guy at close quarters, because that's like probably like one of the only things that's very close quarters knife kill. You know. Now this one, number 6. Number 6 is very important. This is one of the, you know, probably one of the most important in the basics. I'm learning the basics. Now, number 6, master the hipfire. Mastering the hipfire will become one of the most best tools you can use to win gunfights. Hipfire is one of those tools where it can save your life, or save the game, or anything else. Whether you're using a sniper rifle or SMG, you can depend on the hipfire to save you. Now, mastering the hipfire isn't easy, but with practice, you could definitely become a dangerous player at close quarter fights. Hipfire, you know, shooting from the hip, especially with a quick steady pro, it's even faster than aiming down the sights with quick drop pro. It is, you know, it's even used against players who use a technique called the drop shots. And you know, hip firing is the fastest way to shoot the gun. You know, especially with the rapid fire, it's even more dangerous, you know. But remember, hip fire isn't for medium to long range fights. It's only used for close quarter fights, because I've seen a bunch of people, you know, sometimes when they're pretty far away, they're hip firing, especially when you're using akimbo SMGs. A lot of people, what they do, the mistake is they fire all the way from your long range or medium range, and they spray and pray and they miss. But if you hit fire correctly and everything, it's one of the best tools in the game, and that's really important. Now, number 7, burst fire at long range attacks. Whether you're firing with an SMG, assault rifle, LMG, burst fire enemies from the long range is a great way to get the kill. If you decide to shoot your whole clip at the enemy from long range, chances are you're gonna miss. Depending on the gun. If it has like a high recoil, you're gonna miss. But if it has like a low recoil like the ACR, that one has a low recoil, you're pretty much gonna get them. If you shoot the whole clip, since that one has a low recoil, chances are you might get it. But with other guns, let's say MP5 or the G18s, you're gonna miss or anything like that. But that's when burst fire comes in. Do a few quick burst fires from long range, long distance to become, your shots become more accurate, and you have a higher chance to get the kill. One of the things that I do is a quick tap. Just the fire, I quick tap, like tap, 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 and that always works for me. For you guys, you might hold it for 1 second or 2 seconds, and it works. One of the best guns for long range are the burst fires, like the M16 and the Type 95. Those are really the king for long range because you're accurate. 3 bullets with the Type 95 and you're out. Like 6 bullets with the M16 and you're out. And it's pretty good. Now, number 8, don't be running everywhere. Depending on the game mode, you don't want to be running everywhere. If you're running and you come in to meet a player, like an enemy player, chances are he's gonna win. Cause why? Because there's a small delay when you're sprinting. There's a small delay when you're sprinting. Even if you have steady aim pro, there's a small delay that that kind of ruins it. Kind of delays you from firing. Like even if you have quick draw pro, there's a little small delay. You gotta stop sprinting, aiming down the sight, and then you fire. But what if you come across a player who's hip firing? Damn, you're gonna lose the fight. So that's why when you there's a hot spots, where there's a lot of gunfights, stop running and just walk right there. Aim down your sights, or if you're hip firing, be ready for the hip fire, whatever. And that's pretty that's pretty simple. When, let's say for example in dome, there's a lot of heat on the center, or like in the next to the domes, and you don't want to be running into there. You want to go in there, slow down, slow you down. So be cautious and everything, because if you're running, like I said before, you have that little delay. So when you go right there, you're ready, your gun's ready, and you're ready to shoot them. Because I know you caught people off guard when they're running, right? It's like, oh shit, I was running, or I was reloading. And I know they caught you off guard when you're sprinting, you see him, and he shoots you, and you die, and you're like, what the fuck, I shot him, or whatever, like that. But things like that, happen. So, don't be running everywhere, even if you have like steady aim pro or quick draw pro, don't be running everywhere. That's one of my tips. Now, number 9. Now this one's pretty important for you guys who wants to rank up quick. Number 9, PTFO, or play the fucking objective, to earn more XP. By playing the objective, you will earn more XP, and you will prestige faster than those who are getting the kills. I played let's say team defender, and I got in 5 kills and maybe like 7 deaths or 4, like that, and I was a top score. Why? Because I had the flag and I was defending it, and that's the point. If you play the objectives, you play domination, you get more points. You capture the flags, you get more points than those who are just in it for the kills. I had to play a domination game. I had like 20 kills and a few deaths, but my goal was to get the flags. This guy had like 40 kills and 30 deaths or something, whatever, and he had less points than me. Why? Because I was playing the objective and I was getting more points, I was getting more XP. So that's the point of it. Now, the last one, number 10, is play certain game modes to quickly level up those perks. Now, by playing certain game modes, you can level up those perks pretty much faster. For example, if you want to level up Blind Eye to Blind Eye Pro, play Drop Zone. You can equip the Stinger, and every time there's a little care package delivery, you can bring that helicopter down, and that's one of them right there. And with Drop Zone, there's a lot of care packages coming out, so you get 2 Stinger kills for your Blind Eye Pro, and when you die, you have 2 more. You keep going, and that's how you level up. And that's pretty much it. So there you have it, guys. There's my top, my 10 basic tips. There are more, but there's a bunch of more tips, but I want to highlight these. These are like my essentials for to win, to get kills, you know, get more XP, and to win the game, of course. Now, you know, there's some of you guys might disagree with my tips, and that's fine, that's okay. You know, you guys have your own tips and everything, but I just want to highlight these essential tips that I use every day when I play Modern Warfare 3 or Call of Duty games in general. And these tips help me a lot. You know, before in COD 4, you know, back then there wasn't, in YouTube COD 4, there wasn't really no, you know, tips or manuals, you know. So like on YouTube, you know, because it wasn't that big back then. Besides, it was really hard to capture the gameplay anyways. And so, you know, you had to learn this shit by yourselves. You know, you gotta, you know, trial and error and everything. So now, just like there's a whole gaming community on YouTube. You know, there's tips and everything out there. But sometimes some of these tips are not that good and everything. So I'm just trying to bring you guys one of the best tips that I can, the best strategies that I can, to help you guys to become better players and, you know, win, get more experience, all that other good stuff. So now that's pretty much it for my first episode, learning the basics. The next episodes I'm gonna cover game modes such as domination, you know, free for all, kill confirms, and all those game modes, and the strategies and the guns, class setups, and the perks that I recommend using, and the strategies, you know, to win. And so that's pretty much it for this episode. This has been episode 1 of the Call of Duty School, basic strategies and tips. That's it for me, guys, and I'm out. See you guys in the next one.